creative corner of creation, or should I say, our creative corners of creation? Because I've got a guest today. Uh, let me go back. Let me go back. I didn't mute on YouTube. There we go. Now we're good. So
I was muting too,
yeah,
so
yeah. So this is Anjonette of AJ's Personal Touch, and she's become a good friend, and we've gotten to be good friends, like I said. But
we
I'm
also have
all
a
over the place.
collab together.
Yes, and now tell you. I'll let her introduce herself.
Well, hi everybody. As Amby said, I am Anjonette. I'm from AJ's Personal Touch, um, which is my own channel, and I talk about crocheting. Um, Basically, I talk about me, anything me. I show all of my crocheting and stuff because that's a main thing that I talk about. But I also talk about me and my health. I have some issues. And so I keep people updated and posted on that as well because they've said they want to know. So I let them know. Um, and I have been trying to show my coloring too, but I haven't actually colored much this year. This is Kalua. She is my co host, as some people call her, because she will show up whenever she feels like it. Not Kalua, babe.
She's cute.
And right now, Mama hasn't been feeling good, so she has been sticking to Mama like glue. Huh. Her daddy says that
And
she's liking the fact that Mama don't feel good because she's basically been on me for the last couple days. And when I'm taping, even though we call her my co-host, she doesn't usually stay right here while I talk. So
yeah, cats kind of do their own thing.
yeah. When Mama doesn't feel good, she just tries to stay with me. I don't know if she's worried that I'm going to end up getting too sick and going to the hospital because she's been around when that's happened before. Um, Actually, we've had her for about 6 years now. 6 years, 7 years. No, make that 8 years. 8 years now. And my husband used to come home if he had to take me to the hospital, and he'd come home alone, and she would get mad at him and basically scream at him because she's a cat that likes to talk. So she has her normal talking voice. She has her yelling talking voice. And she would yell at him all night long because I wasn't here. And then he would have to call me and I would have to talk to her through the phone and tell her that mommy was okay before she would settle down.
Goodness.
So, but she always knows
So,
that I'm not feeling good before I do.
uh, okay. And I just want to say to Samantha Stewart, who is here, I guess it's the only person here because it only says one person. So, hey, Samantha,
Hi,
and
Samantha. Good to see you
what's in your
again.
cup, and what project are you working on? That's what everybody asks. So, I'm drinking water out of my Yeti cup. There you can see the better. Out of
Ooh,
my
that's
Yeti
pretty.
thing that my dad got me for my birthday in 2019. Didn't really get to do anything for my birthday that year because it was the year my grandma passed away. Passed away 2 days after my birthday. We took her off life support. Not to bring this down or anything. I'm just saying
No,
she
it's okay.
splurged and got me this as a kind of a. They usually wouldn't do that much. Well, take me out to eat and give me a little bit of money, but not a lot. So
I heard the Yetis are nice. I've never had one.
yeah, it's really nice.
Well, I've got in here, it's called, I have a tea, it's called Christmas in Paris, and it is a chocolate dessert tea, and it tastes so yummy. And
Never
every
had
once in a
chocolate
while,
tea.
huh?
Never had chocolate tea. Never even heard of
No,
that.
it's good. Some places make chocolate tea, and you really can't taste the chocolate in them. This you can taste it. It's a stash tea, and evidently I put my lid on before I should have because it is
Yeah, I've
leak
done that
proof
with this one.
unless you fill it just a little too full.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this one's really good. I've had chocolate tea from other places where you can't really taste the chocolate. This you can taste it. And I've had one of their other chocolate teas now. I think a chocolate hazelnut one.
Oh,
Because when
that
you
sounds
order,
yummy.
is it from them? Or no, I think that one may have been from Tea of Republic. When you order from Tea of Republic, they send you a couple samples. So I'd gotten a sample of that. So their chocolate teas are good too.
Cool.
But I've had some that you can't
That's cool.
taste the chocolate in them at all.
And you said that is from the Christmas in Paris
Paris
is from where?
Stash,
Stash.
Stash, Stash tea. Kind of like
Stash
your
tea.
yarn stash, and you get your tea
Yeah.
stash.
Okay. Cool.
So, but
Um.
yeah, I used to be more of a coffee drinker, but now I'm more of a tea drinker. And especially in the evenings, it helps calm me down. And then I have to have some sleepy time tea at night, and that helps me get to sleep.
Cool. I've never tried sleepy time tea.
Yeah, that's
Um.
just a regular celestial seasonings tea. It's
Yeah.
got chamomile in it, but they've got different flavors. My favorite
Cool.
is the sleepy time vanilla.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't tried a lot of teas, but I have tried. Let me think what it's called. The blueberry,
Mm-hmm.
and I cannot think what the company is, but it is good. Especially if you put one of the first times I had it, I made it into like some kind of drink where I guess it's still tea, but I put the tea and then I did a little bit of milk in it and some sugar, and it was so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
I had to
like
make
blueberry
another
tea.
one for my sister.
I
She,
Blueberries are one of my favorite fruits.
yeah,
So I
I
love
like them.
blueberry the most anything. And and a lot of people don't realize this is a thing, but I love blueberry coffee.
I've never had that.
When I heard that they made a blueberry coffee, I had to get it and try it, and it's really good. You very mildly taste the blueberries in it, but it makes the coffee a lot more. It has a more mellow, mild flavor to it. I really like it. It's one of my favorites. For anybody who has a Keurig, I think it's Mountain View Coffee or something like that. Um, is one of the main places that always has the pods, and it's through them. It's Mountain something. Or Green Mountain. That's the name of it. I say it's got a picture of a green mountain on the cup. It's Green Mountain. That's the name of it. But I got it from my mom, and she was like, "I'm not going to drink this." And she tried it, and then she was like, "Ooh, where do I get this from?" So yeah, it tastes a lot different than you would ever imagine.
Hello,
Oh,
I'm back.
okay. I didn't realize you must have been frozen that whole time.
It went off and I don't know why. Stayed okay. This happened last night when we were doing our collab video. It happened twice. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know why it does that. Um that's the first not the first time it went out on a live, but it's the last night was the first time it's done it twice on a live.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why it started doing that.
I don't know. Knock on wood that I don't have it happen to me. I know people say StreamYard can be picky sometimes, but I've never had it do anything like that for me.
No, me either. So I don't know what the deal is.
You have any storms or anything in your area going on?
I did last night. After we got off live, there were storms going on. It started storming.
Yeah.
And mom said that my mom had said that it came a shower earlier, a little bit ago, but not, I don't think it was storming or anything.
Yeah, well, that's what Kaylin and I thought might have happened to you because, I mean, that's what's happened to both of us when we've had it
Yeah,
storm.
that's
And
probably
sometimes
what happened.
even right before a storm, that can happen,
Yeah.
depending on where your internet's coming from and where the towers are and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be the problem. But I can do it on my phone right here. So that's fine. As long as y'all can see me.
Well, welcome back.
Yes. Let's see. This, I guess because I'm on a phone. Let's see. That do. For y'all, for you, is that a better view?
That's fine for me.
Or is this okay?
Either of them's fine for me.
Okay. Just
I
trying
don't
to
know
figure
if
this out.
Samantha's in here, if you can tell us which one you think is better.
Yes. And this is what I was worried about, that we wouldn't hardly have any people. But I'm sure when I did my last Thursday Night Live, which was the first one for this year, um, it took about 30 minutes for people to come in. So,
Right. It's because sometimes 8 o'clock Eastern is better, especially when you go backwards through all the other time
yeah,
zones.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the only reason that
And I forgot to advertise until right before we came on. So
oh, it's fine. That's totally fine. But, the only thing I was going to say is, um, the reason I chose 7:30 was because I thought maybe, well, last year I did it at 7:30. I was gonna do 7, but that's when we were taking care of my aunt every day, me and my mom both.
mhm.
So we wouldn't get home until I. It just depended on what time we would get home, and we tried to get home early enough. So I thought 7:30 would be late enough, but not too late. And then I realized maybe I should have done it at 8, but I'd already said 7:30, so I just kept it at 7:30, and then I kept it at 7:30 for this year, just because I did it last year. So I thought 7:30, and I honestly, and I'm sorry for this, but I honestly didn't think about other time zones. Not, I didn't think about it last year. I really didn't. I'm sorry to say, but then this year I only thought about it after I like, it was like I realized that it should have been a little bit later because of other time zones,
Mhm.
but I just felt like I already said 7:30, so I just keep it there.
You can't always go by that though either. You have to do what's good for you. Um that's like I really want to do a morning one sometime on mine. I just
Mhm.
I'm not I'm not a morning person, and I've never been, even when I was younger, but especially with all of my chronic pain issues. Oops, she got kicked off again. But I'll finish what I was saying. With all of my chronic pain issues, I have a hard time staying up at night. Welcome back.
I'm sorry, that was me.
Yeah.
I accidentally went.
I guess not that I have a hard time staying up at night. That's not what I meant. With my chronic pain issues, I stay up a lot at night. Um, hey, Donna, how are you doing? Because when you're in a lot of pain, you can't go to sleep until you're thoroughly exhausted and your body finally says, okay, I can go to sleep now. So
Yeah.
that's why it's another reason why I'm up late a lot. Although, like I said, when I was younger, I was even more of a night person. But when I get going on a schedule where I can be in bed and asleep by midnight, I can usually be up in the morning around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I can keep on that schedule. So if I can
Well,
get
that's
myself back
good.
there, then I want to do some morning lives because I want people across the pond to be able to join into.
You were frozen for a
Doing
second.
great. Donna is on.
Donna, let's see. Okay, I'm not. Is she Melfina?
Yes.
Okay, Melfina's magic. Crochet, cooking, and crafts. Cool.
And normally I am not good at people's names, but Donna happens to be a friend of mine and Abby's as well. So I knew her by her name before I knew her by her channel name. So for anybody
Okay,
who's
well,
sitting here watching,
hey,
say, how do you know her name, but you don't know mine when you see me? That's why.
yep. And usually, if I'm in another live, even a live, I could go to the same live every day for 3 months and still not know anybody's not know most people's real name, and just call people by their uh channel name. And I know people don't like that, but with me, I don't care. I don't care if you call me poo poo. I mean,
Well,
if
I don't
you're
want.
calling me, I mean, I don't want you calling me that, but just depends on how you're calling me that.
Um, I've never found where people get upset about it unless they've told you their name a couple different times, and
Yeah, nobody's ever really gotten upset
that's
at me.
why I explain it because I have a hard time. Um, Even after a couple different times. I'm so bad with names, but after a while, I eventually remember. Yes, it
Yeah.
takes a while too.
And I know that Samantha and Donna already know about um about you, AJ, but I'm gonna ask you, how did you get into, like, okay, you on your channel you talk about crochet. How did you get into that? Tell, for anybody that might come in that doesn't know you, or anybody that watches the replay that doesn't know you. So,
Um, how did I get into crocheting
yes.
or doing it on my channel?
Um, you can talk about both.
Okay. I got into crocheting because when I was younger, my mom wanted me to have things to do in the summertime. So as soon as I was old enough for 4-H, she said, okay, you're going to join 4-H and to find something I wanted to do. And crocheting was always something that I found interesting. And honestly, I don't know why or how, because nobody in my family was very crafty. Um, my brother was a little bit. Him and I had learned embroidery when I was younger, my mom used to do a ballet dancing class for exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same teacher did like a fast dance class for exercise. She at one point in time, the teacher had been a prima ballerina. I loved her to pieces. I took ballet with her when I was younger, and
Ooh.
that was in the WMCA. It was the women's, like the YMCA for men. This was for
Okay.
women. And they always had, when they were doing the classes for the adults, they always tried to have some other kind of classes for the kids. So my mom joined my brother and I up for an embroidery class.
Okay.
Because it was
Cool.
something, he's like 4 years older than me, and for whatever reason he said he was interested in doing that. So I learned how to do embroidery first, although I don't really remember how to do much. Some things, like when I do amigurumis, I can remember how to do certain things for the eyes and that. And I think if I really sat down and worked at it, I could work out a lot more stitches.
Okay.
Sorry, my throat's dry.
That's fine.
And then, like I said, I don't remember. I must have seen somebody working on a blanket. Oh, I remember now. I had an aunt and a cousin, her daughter, who both crocheted. So my mom had gotten a couple crocheted Afghans from her for the house. And I thought that they were, nice looking. And then I didn't realize that you could like have them custom made and custom colors until she had one made for my bed. And my favorite color is yellow. And my mom got a really pretty yellow. My brain's not going to work. All the different colored yarn. Why is my brain not working?
Rainbow.
No, not rainbow, where everything is all
Variegated.
variegated. Thank you. Yes, because back then they didn't have the self striping and all the different
Yes.
multicolored yarns. It was either plain, one
Or
color,
variegated.
or variegated. And she'd
Yes.
gotten a really pretty yellow variegated yarn and had a shell blanket, a shell Afghan made for me. And
Oh,
I fell
pretty.
in love with that Afghan. And it's still somewhere. I actually think maybe my mom has it because I haven't seen it around here in a while. Or maybe my daughter took off with it, because before I made her big Afghan that I made for her, she used to steal mine. So it might be here somewhere, folded up, and my husband probably folded it up and put it away. But I love that blanket. Took it everywhere with me. Went to college with me. So that's why I'm sure it's got to be here somewhere. But that got me interested in crochet. So as soon as I saw that 4-H had crochet on their list, that was the first class I ever took. And then I ended up taking everything when I was doing 4-H. I would be so busy during the summers. When I first started, I was in pre-me 4-H, so you could only take one class, and that was crochet. And then when I could add it on, I took clothing class. So I learned how to sew, which I haven't done in a long time, but my husband did get me a sewing machine. I want to pull it out and start sewing again, maybe making project bags at some point in time.
Cool.
I took cake decorating, and I took ceramics, where you actually had to make it, build it out of, not greenware, but the actual ceramics class where you had to knead out the dough and cut it up and put it together, and then glaze it and have it put in the kiln. So I had a lot of fun. And foods. I learned how to bake.
That's cool.
I learned how to do all my baking and stuff, because my mom said she would teach me how to bake, but then she said it would be better for me to learn it through 4-H, because then I would learn the proper way and not just dumping everything in. Which, now I'm older and I just dump everything in. So I don't do all the proper ways anymore. But I learned how to do a ton of stuff while I was um, in 4-H over the years. And I was only in 4-H for a couple of years because I didn't stay with it as long as I wish I would have. I wish I would have went all the way through high school with it. But you get to be a certain age and people start to tease you if you're still in 4-H and all that stuff. And I let that stuff get to me. But I got into my singing and stuff too then when I got older. But yeah, that's how I got into crocheting and I stayed with it. Oh, needlepoint. I learned how to do needlepoint also when I was in 4-H. And the first gift I ever made for somebody else was crocheting. I made a baby blanket for my cousin when he was born. And I mean, I was only like 8 or 9 and here I was making this baby blanket, which was kind of cool. And then my older cousin was getting married and I did a needlepoint kit, which at the time all I had learned was plastic canvas during the class. But I got the cloth canvas and I made a beautiful needlepoint wedding frame for them for when they got married with their names on it. So yeah, I like to challenge myself even when I was younger. I always wanted the bigger project. I'm like, don't start me with something small, you know. I want to do bigger. And I had to learn, no, you have to start small and work your way up. But
That's cool.
But yeah, I've always loved crafts.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds like an awesome way to do stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm exactly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
We were also lucky enough that once I was a little bit older, like maybe 10, we had a craft store that opened, which I don't know, somebody would probably nowadays it would be called the local little craft shop, but she had everything in there. It wasn't just yarn. So they would have, like how Michael's has courses on the weekends for kids, she would have courses for kids on the weekends. And we had never had a craft shop around here like that before. Basically, that was so early ago. If you were going to buy yarn, you were going to go to Kmart, or you know, you were getting drugstores, maybe GL Perry or somewhere that might have yarn. But when she opened up that craft store, it was like a whole new world opened up to me because she had all the kits and everything. And so I learned how to do jewelry projects. We went in and made, you know, like beaded ornaments and, you know, different things like that. And that truly, I loved doing that so much. Now, when my daughter was younger, I looked for things like that. She joined 4-H, but she didn't want to do the things Mom did. She did rabbits, so we had to get her a rabbit. She wanted a rabbit, so that's what she said. I'm going to do rabbits. And she actually did really good with them. But then she did take a jewelry. She did jewelry also in 4-H. So she had gotten into that for a while, but she's one of those people that she can't stay with anything for too long. And she's not really OCD, or she doesn't have ADHD. She just needs another interest, and she can't sit and do things for too long. So she was going to make like lanyards and stuff for my mom where she worked, because she worked for the school corporation for everybody. But then she decided, no, I'm going to stick to earrings because they're quicker, they're faster. Get it done. And then all of a sudden she just stopped making things because she used to make jewelry for her friends and stuff. But I wish we would have had a store like I had, a craft store like that I had, because I could have gotten her involved when she was younger. And we had Michael's, but at that point in time, they weren't really offering all the different kids classes when she was little. I don't know why. They had them before, she was born, and then all of a sudden they stopped for a while. I don't know if they couldn't get people to teach them, but then they started up again.
Cool. Well, that sounds really cool. And see, I'm totally different. I was never in any clubs or anything like that, but except for my mom, people in my family, well, my grandma, my nana, and my granny were both crocheters, and my granny could sew, and she could sew really well. And then my grandma, my I keep saying grandma, but my nana, and then her mom, granny, um, were the crafty ones, and that came to me and my sister, but she didn't get the crochet thing. She does other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
more paper crafting. She does paper crafting.
Okay. Yeah. See, I think my mom wanted me to be able to be well rounded and learn the things that I wanted to learn because she worked. She worked 40 hours a week, and sometimes overtime. And I think she was the type, she didn't get into the crafts. She probably could have learned them when she was younger, but she didn't get into it. So, and she could tell that I really wanted to learn. So she wanted to make sure to give me an avenue to be able to go and learn. And plus, she wanted to make sure I was busy on the weekends. So she was like, she had me clean the house and then I could do my crafts. And that's what I spent my weekends doing when I was younger.
Cool.
So,
Well, that's neat. I just want to say hey to some people that have came in. Nadine came in. She said she could just stay for just a minute. She was just
yeah,
saying, hey, y'all, I just popped in to say hi, give you a thumbs up, and then go right back to bed.
yeah,
And
she's
then,
not feeling well.
well, I'm sorry, Nadine. I hope you feel better. And I don't know if I'm saying this right. Danishka, or Denny. She's been my friend for a few years, and
Well,
she
hello,
crochets and everything.
Denny.
Hi, Denny. And then there's Donna. And then Donna said, I see Kahlua is making her usual appearance.
Yeah, she was actually laying right on top of me before you came in earlier, Donna.
Yeah,
She knows Mama's not feeling good, so she's been sticking to me like glue.
yep. So,
I actually am not feeling the best. I woke up literally at 7:10, and this started at 7:30. So I got up, made my tea. I got a blood orange and ate that real quick, and then I was here. So
oh, well, I'm sorry you're not feeling that great.
I'm doing better right now than I was. So I had a massive migraine, and when 6 o'clock rolled around, I was like, nope, I need to go back to bed. And then I set it for 6:30, and then I was like, nope, I need to go back to bed for 7, and then all of a sudden it lifted. So it's fine.
Well, that's good.
My hand is still killing me, but I get my new cream tonight when my husband comes home from work.
Well, awesome.
And I decided whether it hurts or not, I'm going to actually get some crochet done while I sit here.
Well, okay, then. And then, could you tell us about your channel and like how that started and how that came about and everything?
Okay. Well, my channel, I had been thinking for a while about doing it. When I first started finding things online, I started with the blogging community. Um, I found different crochet blogs and found their newsletters and stuff like that. And then every once in a while, even though the ones who do the blogs, a lot of them have channels now, they weren't really big with their channels. They might come on and show you how to
You're
do it.
frozen.
Now they're all at a time where they're trying to build their channels up as well, and do different things. But before, that's all they really did. And I don't know how. I'm disabled. I was a massage therapist for as long as I could be, and I miss it. Wish I still was. Um, but we found out when I was in my late 40s, I had a birth defect that actually caused me to have chronic pancreatitis, which unfortunately is very painful. And it got to the point where I couldn't give an hour-long massage anymore. So it was time for me to stop working. And I was home. I was in bed. I needed things to do. You can only watch so much TV. Crocheting at the time because, well, I was off and on. When I got into a lot of pain, I would crochet because crochet helps me not think about the pain.
Okay.
I remember not my last year that I was massaging, but one of the last 4 at Christmas time, I would sit down and I'd make washcloths. Actually, I'd make them through the year. I would just make squares, learning different stitches and things, and make washcloths. And then that's what I gave my massage clients for Christmas gifts. I do
Oh,
them Christmas colors and then whatever other colors I would want, but I always made sure I had Christmas ones as well. And I would lay them out and say, go ahead, pick what you want, you know, and let them have like 2 or 3 of them as their gift, because I couldn't afford to do all the Christmas cards anymore because I had so many clients and I just couldn't afford all the stamps and that to send them Christmas cards every year, because that's just gets to be so expensive. And I figured, people like homemade a lot more most of the time, and they loved it. They just all loved it. I even had one lady who, come on, baby, get comfortable. Sorry. One lady who asked me to make some things for her after I did that. I love, crochet. I love handmade stuff. I can't do it, and had me make some gifts and things for her. So I remembered that when I was home, and I kept thinking, how can I make money? And I was doing direct sales at the time and I was doing okay. But I was like, I love crochet. And so I started looking up, different things. And like I said, at that point in time, it was just the blogs. But I was getting tired of watching TV, and my daughter liked to watch YouTube a lot. So I would find out who she was watching and I would start watching them. So I basically started on YouTube by watching the different quote YouTubers. Although I guess that's what we are when you have a channel, you're a YouTuber. But
yes.
when the quote YouTubers are more the celebrity YouTubers.
Yes.
That have just gotten ridiculously rich off of the beginning of YouTube and stuff. So I would follow who she watched because I wanted to make sure that she was not watching somebody she should not be. So that's how I got started on YouTube. And then one day, I don't know if it's when everything started changing their algorithms to where the different places you went could tell if you were like what kind of blogs you're looking at somewhere else. But a crochet channel popped up. And I was like, okay,
Do you
I'll check
know
this.
what crochet channel that was?
The very first one, no, I don't. There's actually one that I want to find her again, but I cannot remember her name. All I know is that she turned me on to watching Kim, Affordably Crafty. But I enjoyed this channel so much. But she was somebody who worked, and she wasn't able to put many things on, but I loved watching her. And I can't remember what her name is for the life of me anymore. And I need to go back on my personal YouTube, but I have so many channels that I watched, but go through them and see if maybe I can find her again and if she's even still doing YouTube. But I know from just watching a couple of Kim's, I got into watching Ginger, the Yarn Geek. Especially at her early mornings, because lots of times I was just getting tired because the pain had kept me up all night. So I'd watch her early morning one and then I'd go to bed. So Ginger is really the first one that I started watching religiously. Besides the other one, it was just I was going through the list that the other person watched. You know how it shows.
Yes, what they're subscribed to.
Right. And that's how I found Kim, but I didn't really watch Kim as much at that point in time. But when I was looking at who she was subscribed to, and I saw Yarn Geek, I was like, okay, I got to see who this person is, Yarn Geek.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed watching Ginger at first, and I used to watch her all the time. Then I moved on from her. I found Bag a Day, and then, once I found Bag a Day, I went down a hole because I had to go back. And I mean, I could never go back and watch all of her stuff, but
no way.
I got stuck watching her for hours and hours and not watching anybody else because, I was just stuck watching her. Then I found Cinnamon Stitches, and then I found No Catchy Name. So, and by then I was interested in starting a channel, and somebody told me, well, did you know that there's somebody who's chronically ill who already has a channel? And her channel's name is Chronically Crochet, and her name is Crystal. And so I started watching Crystal. So the channels that I watch like religiously now, and in there I found Melanie too from Hook to the Left, and then the Yarn Hookers. So religiously I watch No Catchy Name. I have to watch all of her episodes because I just love Ella to pieces. She's down to earth. I just can't say enough about Ella. I just love her, and I love her bags that she makes. I still watch Bag O' Day. I just don't watch her every day like I used to. But I will have times when I sit down and I just watch her for a couple hours at a time. Chronically Crochet, I need to see all of hers as well, which I need to look because I think she just posted one. And she's like me. She doesn't keep a schedule. If she's down and she's sick and she can't videotape, she doesn't. But she's just recently had some different bouts of where she's been off for like a month at a time. So, like I said, I just saw she posted something, so I need to catch up on that. But I've been sick the last couple of weeks. As you know, I've been kind of down. So I haven't been watching anybody the last couple of weeks. But her and Ella will be the first two that I go back to watch. And then Mel, I always end up going up onto Hook to the Left on Melanie's page, and I will go back and watch all of her stuff too. I think I've seen all of your videos now, and
oh, cool! Thank you.
I just jump. Sometimes I'll find somebody new. Like right now, one of the new people that I started watching, and I just love watching her, is Fostering Crochet with Amber Allen. She's just so funny. She cracks me up. If I'm in a bad mood, I know I can turn her on, and I'm going to be laughing my butt off by the time an episode is over. And then I also like Roaming with Rover. I had found her, and she makes me crack up too. So yeah, I'm learning. And Crystal the Yarny Chicken, and I mean, there's just so many. I can't name them all. Just Another Stitch. Connie, I watch her too, and I've been on their lives. Lady Bird. I like to watch Lady Bird every once in a while. I don't get to very often because of her being across the pond. And oh, and of course, Kaylin, um, Kay's Crochet Haven. For those
Yes.
who don't know, Ambi and I and Kaylin, we have a collaboration that we do every other week. That we hop from channel to channel. So we just got done making our first round of all three of us. So in 2 weeks, we'll start with Kaylin again. It goes Kaylin and then me and then Ambi.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're
Well,
having fun with that. So
yes, we are having fun with that. And I wanted to say hey to some people, or say hey to one person that came in. Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Loves Book. Hey, girl. I love her.
Lizzie.
She's in the booktube
Hmm.
community, but I think she said that she knits. I
Cool.
think she told me that she knits and that she was trying to teach her daughter to knit. I
Good.
think is what she told me.
See,
But
and I don't watch the book community per se, but I watch the coloring community because somebody that I used to watch, that I had found when I used to watch the YouTubers checking up on my daughter, who had a YouTube channel, and I just fell in love with her because she's just an everyday, down to earth person, and that's who she shows. Who used to do different hauls. Oh, I can't think. I can't think of the name of the company that, but they've closed now. She got me hooked onto this company that was like going onto a dollar store to getting stuff. And it was before Five Below actually knocked them out. That's why they're no longer online. So it was before Five Below. But she would show her hauls that she would get from there. And then I would go on and find stuff. I love their stuff because they had, like, when it came to notebooks and notepads and stuff, they had Hallmark quality notepads, and they had really amazing electronics and stuff. And I it really makes me sad that they're no longer a company because I really enjoyed purchasing from them. But I would watch her hauls, and then she has her best friend would come on, and they would do the different like eating stuff where they'd get a bunch of different candies and stuff from like Japan, or because her husband is a truck driver, so if he found different stuff on the road, he'd bring it home. And then her and her friend
ooh,
would do a show with like different flavored chips, and the different kinds of candies and different things. So I loved watching her. And then she colors, so she started a color channel, and so I watch her. And her name is well, her real name is Kathy, and I can't think of her channel name right this second, but I talk about her on my channel a lot. So
that's
yeah, I've
cool.
been watching YouTube for a while. But she got me coloring and stuff again. So now I have a ton of color books and stuff. So when I'm really stressed and if I can't crochet, I like to color. And I've shown it on my channel a couple times. And
That's
I like
cool.
to read too. So
Awesome. Donna said that Bag a Day and Creative Grandma were two of the first crochet channels she ever found.
cool.
That's cool. With me, I started with, well, and I had always been a very casual YouTube watcher. Like, I
Hmm.
would just, if I had a few minutes, would look at a funny video or see something funny, or I would look, if I wanted to know how to do something, I would look it up, or different stuff like that. But
Hmm.
that wasn't, it wasn't really people um uh showing how to do stuff yet.
Right.
Much, not much. Like, I'm not really talking crochet wise. I'm just talking like if I wanted to know, I don't know,
How to cook something or how to bake
yeah, how to cook
something.
something,
Or
or
I
how
used
to,
to do that too. I used to find the different,
like my
you
dad
know, if
would
I,
looks on there to find out about car stuff.
right.
And
If I
but
wanted to learn how to make a a certain cake or something that I didn't have a recipe
Yeah.
for, I used to come on YouTube
And
for
there
that.
wasn't much of that, but there was a lot of comedy. A lot
Mhm.
of like, or people being stupid and doing stuff like they had, like Fred. My sister watched Fred. Oh gosh, it annoyed the heck out of me. Um, and then music videos. That's basically what I would watch was music.
Yeah, I watched those
Music.
too.
And then I started. I don't even know how I found certain things, but I had just. I don't know if I looked it up or if somebody, if it was recommended or if it was somebody. I don't really know, but trying to think. I know I found the booktube community first,
Okay.
and funny cat videos. She said Fred and funny cat videos is what
Yep. Yep.
Elizabeth said. Yep,
That's
that
how I
was the
found
kind of
Kathy.
stuff.
I just remember Kathy's channel. It's for anybody who likes coloring and stuff, and she has both channels still, or just somebody who's really down to earth. Spicy Cat Jams was her original one, and that was cool too because I sold Jamberry nail wraps, and so did she. So it was like small world, And then Spicy Cat Colors is her coloring channel.
Well, and this was later on in my whatever, but one of the people that I now am watch a lot is in the book community is her channel is Krista Books and Jams.
Mm-hmm.
Because she sold the jam thingies.
Jamberry. Yeah, I've seen her too.
But trying to think. Okay, one of the first, and this is a big booktuber, but I don't follow her anymore. But she's a Canadian booktuber, and this was back. She was a teenager, and I was in my 20s. I was maybe 5 years, 6 years older than her, something like that. And no, I might have been more like 10 years older than her because it was at least 10 years ago. So let's see, I might have been between 5 and 10 years older than her. And she was a teenager at the time, was like 16, 15, 16. And she is part Canadian and part, I cannot remember what the other is, but it's something in South America or Central America, one of those. So she was like visiting down there, and her channel, oh my goodness, Ariel Bassett. That's just what her channel is called by her name, I think. I think that's it. Lizzie, if you know, you can let us know, but I can't remember. I think her channel is just her name. Um, so I found her. She was talking about books, and I read, but I didn't read anything like she did or like most people. Most people back then that were doing it wasn't even called booktube. It was just people talking about books. And it was a lot of teenagers and very early 20s, and they were just talking about YA books, mainly. It was YA this and YA that, and that stuff. It was Twilight and I don't know, just different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But and so from there, I found some others that she was friends with, and that she was um trying to think what it's called, that she was subscribed to, and people, and I watched them, and I liked them and stuff, but I watched them, but it was never about any books that I would read, because I never, even as a teenager, I didn't read YA books. I just never was that way. I mean, I read a few. I read Twilight, that series, and but that was even, I don't even know if I was a teenager then. I might have been in my 20s then. And I read, what else did I read? When I was a teenager, I read Left Behind, the kids series. I read that. And then I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series.
Mm-hmm.
But that's more middle grade.
I say I read that when I was in grade school.
Yeah, I think I read it when I was like 4th or 5th grade. So I don't even think that's, yeah, I think there's really not a lot of YA books that I've read. Probably not.
I read Twilight because my daughter was at the age that was just below what they should have been
Yeah.
to read Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to read it so bad. So I said, okay, let me read it. And if I find it's okay for you to read, then you can read it. Which, of course, I found it was okay for her to read. So she read it. And then that's how she then wanted me to read all of them because she liked the fact that we could sit down and talk about them. So,
Yeah.
plus, I wanted to make sure, too, that it never progressed when you could tell how it was progressing, that it didn't progress to something that she shouldn't be reading.
Okay. Did you let her read the last book?
Yeah, well, she was older by the time the last book came
Okay.
out.
Okay. Yeah, she was older. Okay. I was just wondering. I was like, that last book.
Yeah, her and I, we read all of them, but by the time the last book came out, she was like high school. So,
Okay. And see, I was already older. I was, yeah, up in my 20s when I read those, or maybe late teens, early 20s. And Lizzie says that yes, Ariel Bassett. And then she started, okay, I watched her and I found her and some other people, and they started, well, actually, Ariel started, but other people jumped on board really quick, was Booktubeathon. And that was an entire, the whole book community kind of thing, kind of reading event or whatever. And it was, they had, I think that is where I first heard about reading sprints, and where, and they had stuff on Twitter. That was back when I was on Twitter. And I think that might have been why I got on Twitter, was so that I could be part of that. And what they would do is they would like post something like at such and such time for 20 minutes until such and such time we're going to read.
mm-hmm.
And so you would read, and then you would, she would talk, she'd be, whoever it was that was doing it would be like, okay, what did you read? Did you like it? How much did you read? All this stuff. And then they might say, do something kind of like, tell us the best line of what you read, or what's the weirdest name in your book, or, just different things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I did that probably 2 years, I think. I did those, but I didn't do all of them because they had them at all different times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then somehow from there, I found there started being more booktubers, and I would find more people. And then still just even people that were talking about other books other than um, YA books, they were still mainly talking about YA books. And so I just kept looking and looking, and finally I found people that were, there was still some people that were younger, not like early 20s, but like mid 20s and up, and they were reading more adult book. They were reading adult books, and I don't mean like um certain content, but um it wasn't like adult content, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It was just adult books that were geared more, that
Like
were
Nicholas
for adults.
Sparks, like your
Yeah,
favorite Nicholas Sparks and different
I
ones. Yeah.
love Nicholas Sparks. So, um, there was people that were like that, and then as I've gotten a little older, I've just went searching for people that were more my age or even older, and I found a lot of people, and that's when I found uh, Elizabeth of Lizzie Faye, and I found another one that is one of my absolute favorites. It's Sarah. She's the Bookish Knitter. She used to have a knitting channel, and I think she still does, but she rarely posts to it. But she does reading and knitting and cross stitch.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll do like a weekly reading vlog, and she'll talk all about her books, but then she'll throw in her her knitting or her cross stitch she's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the cross stitch community is called floss tube. That's what they call it. It's floss
Okay.
tube because you use floss is what they
Yeah,
call the
I get
stuff
it.
you use. So,
I
and
I
then
also do cross stitch, so yeah, I get it.
cool, cool. So somewhere in there, I also found the knitting community, and I loved that because it was yarn and everything. So I really liked doing that. I really liked watching those. But I found two channels that are still two of my absolute favorites. One is Sheepishly Sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is her name? Margaret Olander.
Uh-huh.
And I think I found her friend Erin. I don't know. I don't even know if I know what her last name is. She used to be, I can't remember what she used to be, but she's recently changed her name and I can't remember her old name. But now she's Everyday Erin, and she did knitting, but she also would sometimes crochet. Erin would.
Mm-hmm.
So she did that and had all that kind of stuff on her channel, and now she has progressed to doing a lot of other stuff. She does the floss tube and does paper crafting and just different kind of stuff, but I really liked her. And then I guess from her, is when I found Margaret. And Margaret first started out as a crocheter. That's what she was. She was a
Okay.
crocheter. But then through Erin, she became a knitter, but she's still mainly a crocheter.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess she had always been like somebody that was like trying to be a little more healthy and trying to be better for the environment or something like that. So she puts that into her stuff, and she sometimes in her videos, her thing is she calls it sheepishly sharing because she's sharing things that she thinks everyone's gonna like,
Right.
and it's not always. It'll usually every time she does a video, she will have some kind. Well, a lot of times when she does a video, she has um yarn content,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be knitting or crochet,
I think
mostly
I've actually
crochet.
watched her a couple times. I think I might be subscribed.
And yeah, and then she'll throw other stuff in there, like some of her um sewing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's done some cooking, she's done yarn dyeing. She she's the first person I heard about Knit Crate from,
Okay.
and she gets Knit Crate, and she had even been approached, and they had her do a design for Knit Crate,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was cool and everything. So from there, I found just other people, and then I actually found, can't think of what it's called, homesteading. I found the homesteading community,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of those people, and some of those crocheted, and I
Yep.
liked that and did crafts and stuff. And then I think I found Ginger's live in the mornings, and I watched those. And once I found Ginger's lives in the morning, that's when it really took off that I watched crocheting YouTube. That I actually really realized that there is crocheting YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and not just people that knit that also crochet. Oh, goodness.
Lizzie,
So,
I'm 50. Shoot, I can't even remember how old I am. 52. So yeah.
um,
We're not all as young as Miss Amby over here. And
I'm not young.
I want to ask Lizzie this. Okay, Lizzie, I just found out how old Amby was maybe about a month ago. I could have swore she was in her 20s. I want to know, were you like me thinking when you first saw her on video that she was a lot younger than she is? Just curious. So how
And
when did you find Mel? Did you find
so,
her through Ginger?
yeah, I found her through Ginger. Um, and I think I started watching the lives in the morning, every morning at like 6 o'clock or something.
Hmm. I
5.
remember seeing you and chatting with you in a couple of the lives.
Okay, good Lord. I don't even remember when I know people from. I am in my 30s. I'm 35. Known her for several years. Yes, I've known Lizzie for a lot. Yeah, she thought I was in my 20s. But Lizzie hasn't said. Did you think I was in my 20s when you first met me, Lizzie? Um, so just from the morning lives, and then when she started doing, I don't actually know when I met Mel. I don't know if she came on um the morning lives or if it was after um Yard Hooker started that I
I
met
don't
her.
think she ever made any of the lives because I think she said that was early and she was getting ready, for her job.
Yeah.
Um, I think I mainly met her because I think I found Ginger like right, right as or right before Yarn Hookers was starting. So, because I didn't find her lives until basically right when she was getting ready to stop doing them. I think she did a month and then she stopped doing them.
Oh goodness, I think I found them when she was first doing them. I might have even found her, but yeah, she was first doing them when I found her.
So, and another, I mean, and I, of course I didn't mention them, but I watched them too. I watched Whippy Chick, Julie, who was part of Yarn Hookers and sadly
Yeah.
isn't anymore. And I also watch Kate, who was originally part of Yarn Hookers. I love watching Kate, which I need to look. I saw she recently posted something again too, so I need to go watch her because she's another one. She gets me cracking up by the time I'm done.
Okay, so 7 years ago, I would have been 28. And I know that because my sister is 7 years younger than me and she's 28.
And plus,
So,
you said you were 35.
well, that, but I also, without having to think,
Right.
I
I
don't have
get
to
it. I
think.
do the same thing.
So, I was in my 20s when she met me. So, did you think that I was a teenager or something? What was like your first impression of me? Okay, I'll ask you. What was your first impression of me, AJ?
That you were in your 20s.
That was just the first thing you thought about me was that I was in my 20s.
Well, usually when I look at somebody, that's the first thing that pops into my head is how old they seem to be. And I'm not good with age. Um, I thought you remind me a lot of me. And you can ask Donna. I've said this to her. You remind me a lot of me when I was younger. So watching you for me was
That's
kind of like
cool.
watching myself when I was younger.
Oh, that's cool. I've never been told I remind someone of themselves when they were younger, but that's cool. Donna says, "Be happy you look so young, Amby." I guess it's better than looking old, but
Yeah, I had somebody tell me the other day that they couldn't believe that I was in my 50s. They thought I was in my 30s. So,
you don't look like you're in your 50s.
well, I think I have two very young looking parents. So I lucked out and got the young gene from both of them.
Cool.
My brother's the same way. He doesn't look like he's a day over 35. So, and if I'm 52, he's 56 or Yeah, he's 56. He'll be 57 in August.
Okay, my parents are 50, gonna be 56, I think. Let's see. 66, 76,
Let's see,
86.
my parents are in their 70s and they don't look like they're that old.
Yeah, they'll be 56 yeah. Okay, Lizzie Faye said, do y'all ever watch Christy at Relatively Crafty? She used to have a booktube channel. Now she just talks about what she reads at the end of her knitting podcasts. The name Relatively Crafty that sounds familiar, but maybe I've watched her before, but it's not someone I'm subscribed to.
I don't recognize the name, so.
And I do remember someone that,
Oh, you know what? Is she from Australia? There is somebody that I am subscribed to now, and I've only been able to watch her a couple times so far. And then I keep forgetting her name, which is one of the reasons that I have not been good at watching her. But I need to go back. She does a lot of like portrait crochet, a lot of
oh, I know who you're talking about.
the tapestry type crocheting, and she reads and she talks about. But she likes to read stuff from like and she watches old movies.
Yes, did she do the
She likes stuff from like the 50s.
I know that, but is she the
I was just
one
saying, did she do
that did
she's doing like portraits of all the different stars and stuff.
yeah.
She has an Elvis one going. She did Cary Grant. I think I was thinking Clark Gable and I said Cary Grant. But I think she might be doing a Cary Grant one. Lee, yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Yes.
Lee. I
Her
love watching
and
her. I love listening to her and I love watching her.
what is her name? She did her and the one you really like that crochets she has a new little girl.
No catchy name. That's how I found her
Yes.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Her
that's how
and
I found
Lee
her. No catchy.
and I cannot think of the other woman's name. But that woman's from Texas. The other woman. They all did a project last year. Did it last year or the year before? Where they watched a movie.
Yeah, and they made a square.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't watch the other ones yet when she was doing her movie blanket, but a lot of people ended up coming on board with that. Asked if they could
Yeah.
be part of it.
I was thinking about doing it, but I never did.
Yeah. Ella got behind for a while, but she caught up.
Yeah. I just liked watching and seeing what movies everybody was watching.
Yeah. And I like Ella watched a lot of younger type Disney type movies.
Yep.
Because she has her young son and she
Yep.
would watch them with him. But then she also watched a couple adult type movies. But what I love about her too is she loves Beetlejuice, and I love Beetlejuice.
I like Beetlejuice.
I remember when Beetlejuice was in the theaters. I was actually working in the movie theater. That was just so much fun. My best friend is like a Beetlejuice fanatic, so when Ella talks about it, it reminds me of my friend who I don't get to talk to anymore. But her kids are my god kids, and we were like sisters once we met each other. We met working at McDonald's. But she just loves Beetlejuice.
Cool. it's neat to hear like the different pop culture things that people are into. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's kind of it just is so interesting how one person could be totally into one thing and then another person is like, oh, totally into this thing. And then somebody else may not have even seen either one of those or heard of it ever. Never heard of that character or never heard of that movie or that show or book or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What is Donna talking about? Daylight come and me one go home.
Daylight come and me wanna go home. Was that from Beetlejuice? I don't remember if it.
That song in Beetlejuice?
Who knows? There was so much funny stuff in Beetlejuice. It could have been.
I
Michael Keaton
know.
was hilarious.
I know, right? And let's see.
She
Oh,
said,
she said
"Yeah."
it was. Um,
And who was it that played the girl? Was that Phoebe Cates?
no, it was the one from Stranger Things. It's Winona Ryder.
No, she said Winona Ryder sings it. Was
In the movie. She was the girl.
okay. For some reason, I didn't think it was Winona.
Yeah, it was her.
I was a huge Winona Ryder fan. See, my friend loved Michael Keaton, and I loved Winona. So
Cool.
I watched as many movies that Winona Ryder was in as I possibly could.
Elizabeth said that was an iconic scene.
I'm sure it
I
was. It's just
I
been forever
remember
since I've
it.
seen the movie.
Oh, I remember it now. It's when she's like she's levitating or whatever, and she's got maracas or something, or she's acting like she's got maracas or something, and she's dancing around and all. And is that where her
Okay,
parents?
Phoebe Cates was in Gremlins. I love
Gremlin.
Gremlins too.
Yeah, yeah. She floats off the ground while singing it in the movie. Yeah, yeah. I like that, and I love older. And I know this is gonna sound bad, but older-ish, older-ish movies. Not like I do like older movies, but like stuff that's just a little bit back, not a long time back. Like, but now,
You're
gosh,
trying to word it nicely so we don't get offended. Thank you.
but now I've come to realize that 1992 was 30 years ago, which I just can't even makes me feel old as dirt.
Oh, you don't want to go there. I was born in 69. I always think every time I have to put down the year that I was born, I used to say, oh, it was the greatest year because, everybody likes. Anyway, um, I used to think every time I put it down, oh yeah, I'm a young one. I'm putting down 1969, like when my parents were in their 30s or whatever. And then now it's like I'm an oldie. I'm putting down 1969. Look at all these other numbers before here. You wouldn't have to scroll down very far to find your year. Now I do lots of scrolling.
Oh yeah. Well, even I do a lot of scrolling for 87.
Honey, I graduated in 88.
Well, you were young. You are young.
Oh, goodness. Yes, and
Yeah.
Phoebe Cates was also in Fast Time at Ridgemont High. Yep, along with Sean
Sean
Penn.
Penn. And what is his name? He's a big deal now. Well, not big deal, but he's been in a lot of stuff. Uh, Nicolas Cage. Did you know he was in that movie?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yep.
Yep. He wasn't very well known then, though.
No, it was his first movie, and there was something I saw one day, something about he changed his name because he thought, I don't know, he was doing that movie and I'm not really sure, something about he thought he'd do better in the movies if he had a different name, or he didn't want to be associated with, because he's a Coppola.
Yeah, he didn't want to be
Yeah.
associated with the
Yeah.
Coppola stuff.
Yeah. So.
And he didn't want people thinking that if he did well in movies that it was because of his name and not
Yep.
not
His
because of his talent.
performance. Yeah. What gets me when I think of name changes is how, what is his name? It's Emilio Estevez's dad. Um, can't think of his name.
Douglas.
No, it's not Douglas. It's I can see him in my mind, but I can't think of what his name is.
It wasn't Kirk Douglas.
No, it's not Kirk Douglas.
For some reason, I thought Amelia was Mike's brother. I guess not.
No, he's
But it was one of the other ones like that.
Charlie Sheen's. He's Charlie Sheen's brother.
That's
Their dad. Their dad. It's driving me crazy. But he changed his name. He changed his last name, and so did Sheen, Charlie Sheen. He changed his last name to the same name that his dad changed the name to. But then Emilio didn't change his name. And they're like Mexican or something. And I'm
See, I
like,
never realized. I always wondered why Emilio had a different last name. I didn't realize he kept his name, and the other ones were the one who changed. Martin
yep,
Sheen.
yep.
I had to
Martin
look it
Sheen,
up.
yep,
You're going to drive
yep,
me nuts. I had to look it up.
yep. They were the
I
ones
always
that
thought
changed their
since
name.
they had the same last name, that Emilio was the one who changed his. I loved Emilio.
Oh, yeah,
Talk about cute. I would
yes,
pick him over his brother any day.
yes,
Any day.
yes. Um, what was the other person that I like? Um, the one from Dirty Dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
love
there's
her.
more than one Dirty Dancing. Which one are you talking about? Kevin
Oh,
Bacon?
the original,
Bacon.
87. Um,
Kevin Bacon. Bacon
not,
Bacon.
no, he's not Dirty Dancing. That's not Dirty Dancing.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't. I thought you. Never mind. I was thinking Footloose. Dirty
yeah,
Dancing. Oh, I loved him.
I know. Oh my
I was
gosh, yeah,
so upset when he passed away.
I know.
Oh goodness, it's on the
Mm.
tip of my tongue.
I know his name. It's just I can't think of it.
I can see him. He was in Ghost.
I know.
Loved Ghost.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, I know him. Dirty Dancing is like a movie that I watched while it was in the theater 6 times.
Goodness, I've seen it 1,000 times, but never in theaters.
Well, that's
Um,
because that's how old I am.
yeah, but I
My
watched
boyfriend
it.
and I went and saw it like twice, and my best friend and I went and saw it twice.
Patrick Swayze.
Yes. Yeah, for some reason I thought you were talking Footloose. I don't know why
Yeah,
that came into my
but
head.
I like him too. I like Kevin Bacon too.
Mm-hmm.
Hubba. Donna said hubba hubba.
Hubba hubba.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, Amelia and Charlie Sheen do have another brother too, but I can't think
Yeah.
of what his name is. And I think you're right, he's not into acting.
Yep. All great movies, Donna said. Yep. I love those movies.
Well, Donna and I have been realizing that her and I probably could have been sisters or twins because we like a lot of the same stuff.
Jeff Bridges and Stargazer. Yum. I've never even. What is Stargazer?
You'll have to look it up.
I'll have to look it up. I mean, I know Jeff Bridges was yummy, but I just don't
So was
know
Bo.
that movie.
Oops.
Bo was good looking, but I still choose Jeff
I know
over Bo.
everybody likes Jeff better. That's where I'm different. I like Bo.
And Donna just says a movie. It's a movie. Oh, thank you, genius.
Well, she is a genius.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's a
Lord.
very good movie.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
But see, I couldn't for a minute there. I couldn't remember if it was a movie or TV show because I think they made it into a TV show as well.
Okay.
I think there have been so many different things, and that reminds me. And I'm not going to think of his name, but he played in Castle, and he was in one of those movies or in one of those TV shows that I had to watch all the
With
time.
Firefly,
Yes, Firefly.
I've never watched it, but I did love Castle.
Oh,
Yeah, I like him.
if you can watch it, find Firefly and watch it. Oh, it was so good.
Okay.
So good. Love Firefly.
Okay.
And I do think was it movies too? I think it started as a movie, as different movies, and then they made it into the TV show. I think. Oh, I
Okay.
watched all of them though. I had a friend who was a sci-fi fanatic, and that's how I got into watching it. And he's still my heart.
Okay.
Him and I would watch
Okay.
Castle together, and then he was like, "Well, he was in Firefly," and I was like, "Well, what's that?" He's like, "You got to go watch it."
I'm not so crazy about sci-fi.
I'm not a huge sci-fi person, but there are different things that I like. Like growing up, I loved Battlestar Galactica,
Okay.
and that was another one that they made into a TV show. I think it started out as a movie. I'm not a Trekkie, but I watch some Star Trek, and
My mom,
I just love Star Wars.
I've seen, I think I saw one of when they came out with new ones in like the 2000s something, like close to now, before the pandemic though. It was like the teen 2000s. And it was like one of the first new ones in forever and a day. And I think I saw it. And then I think in school, I watched one of the other ones. I don't know which one. And other than that, I've never seen any of the others.
See, for me, of course, it was the originals because the originals, I stood in the very, very, very long lines waiting to get in to see it. And I hadn't seen the ones after the originals until years after they were made because my husband wasn't into Star Wars. So when those came out, I didn't see them. And the newer ones, I haven't seen all of them. I've seen a couple of them. because I was binging them on the TV when they were showing them. There was like a Star
Um,
Wars week or
yeah,
something, but they didn't show all of them, all of the
yeah.
new ones. But my daughter saw them
Mhm.
because she used to date a Star Wars fanatic, and she wasn't really into it, but she went to see the movies with him. But yeah, and then her and I could talk about them because she would ask me questions to try and be up on it, so she knew what she was talking about when they would talk about it. Mark Harmon in Blue Thunder and Scott Bakula. Oh, Quantum Leap. Loved me some
I've never
Quantum
seen
Leap.
Quantum Leap, but I do like me some Scott Bakula.
Mm, if you like him, that's another one. That was a young Scott Bakula. Quantum. Ooh,
Okay. I
yeah.
only know him older, so well, I do know him young because he was in a few episodes of Designing Women.
Yep.
He was Mary Jo's ex-husband. Now there's a show. If you, I know everything about that show.
If you
I,
like shows that talk about jumping back in time, you'll like Quantum Leap.
okay. NCIS New Orleans, not now because they've stopped it, but yeah, that's what he was on. That's what I knew him
Yeah,
from.
that's
And
what most people saw him in the
Mark
older.
Harmon, I haven't seen Blue Thunder, but I liked him in. Was it called Summer School? Was
I
that the
think
name
so.
of it?
Plus,
Or
he's been
something?
in different cop shows and things too.
Yeah, but and of course he's Gibbs. He'll always be Gibbs.
Yeah,
But um, he my grandma loved that movie. Was I think it was Summer School, and we
yeah.
watched that anytime it came on TV.
I remember it. I've seen that one a couple different times too.
Yeah,
Yep,
yep.
yep.
And then Bruce Boxleiter. I never watched Battlestar Galactica, but that name is familiar. And I'm thinking that he was like
I,
the dad in something on Hallmark.
yeah,
I
he
think
was. He's done quite a few Hallmark things.
yeah, that's what I was
Uh,
thinking.
and Donna, yeah, I knew that he was Gibbs. I just, for my brain just went for a second
Bruce
because Mark
Box,
Harmon is one that,
yeah,
when you get to when you talk about your with your significant other of who it's okay for the one night. Yeah, Mark Harmon.
oh my goodness. Okay, so
Bruce Box and Scarecrow, Mrs. King. Yep. He was in Scarecrow, Mrs. King too.
I've never seen that show. I think I've seen the like the promo, not the promo, but like picture that would have
Uh-huh.
been of it, but I've never seen seen the show or whatever.
And the other guy who is on my list where my husband could pick somebody and if I got to, is Dean Cain. I love Dean Cain.
Cool. Superman. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Gotta watch him in anything he's in.
See, I'm so different. I don't know who would be on my list, but well, I gotta say Jason Momoa would be on my list.
I've heard you and Mel talk about him.
Yes. Oh, yum,
Is he
yum,
the
yum.
I haven't
He's
seen
Aquaman.
Oh,
He's the
Aquaman.
newest Aquaman.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch all of those.
Mm,
Maybe I'll need
yummy.
to. Who is it that
Well,
she always talks about? Who's see, I need to get when we start streaming and we get rid of our cable, I want to get Disney Plus. And there's a show that she watches on Disney Plus. Another guy that she talks about, and I can't think of. I can see it in my head.
Is it Loki?
Yes, yes.
Loki. That they've just made like last year or maybe the year before.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't think of what his name is, but I know Mel was like,
Um.
and I've seen previews of that, and I'm like, I need to watch that.
My mom loves the character, loves him, thinks he's. But we don't have Disney Plus, so I've never seen the show. But I could go to that site that I'll go to and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't yet. But I did go and watch the one with Scarlet Witch. Cannot think of what the show is called now. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy.
See, we are
Yeah,
so much alike, Donna. It's not even funny.
I like
My
Sandra
girl crush
Bullock.
would be Sandra Bullock. I'd love to be BFFs with her too. Her and I was just telling you the other night. Oh, why? I don't like my brain. When I've had a massive migraine, especially, my brain gets even worse. Oh, Julia Roberts. I would love to be best friends with Julia
No,
Roberts.
you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No. I've heard she is a super. She is not nice. She's been very mean to family and very.
I have heard, I have followed her career. I have followed her life. I know she has family issues and things, but as a person and the things I have seen her do for the community and things, she is a very nice person.
Well, I've heard things that she's done and they don't seem too nice.
Okay. Well, this is one of those places where everybody has their own opinion. And
Yep. I mean, I love her as an actress or whatever, but other than that, nope. I wouldn't want to be friends with her. But Sandra Bullock, yes.
you might want to read up a little bit more. She has some of her reasons when it comes to her family. She's had people who have not been as nice to her as well.
Okay. And when it comes to people that I like, you can just anybody on Supernatural. Well, the main people on Supernatural, except the one that played the devil. Sam and Dean, yes. We always joke. Me and my mom and my sister always joke that I can have Sam, my sister will have Dean, and
Supernatural.
mom can have the dad.
Mm.
And then the dad was on what is that show? It was extremely popular about zombies.
Living Dead?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. Can you know?
You didn't watch it? I didn't watch it. But
I was too active being a mom at the time. And working.
But he was on there. The dad from Supernatural was on there in the later seasons.
One thing about massage, I loved massage, but sometimes when it came to scheduling and things, you could work later hours because you had to work when people got off work. So there were
Ah,
some nights that I would work until like 8:30, not get home till like 9 o'clock after I took care of my office cleaning and everything. So,
okay.
yeah, I missed a lot of TV shows and stuff during that time. I usually just tape my soap operas and watch those when I got home.
What soap operas did you watch?
I grew up watching all the soap operas on CBS. I was going to say
CBS?
Channel 22, but that's not CBS everywhere. But yeah,
No, here it's 12.
right. I love but my favorite one is gone. Guiding Light was my favorite. My
Guiding
absolute
Light.
favorite.
I didn't get into that until it was like maybe the last year of it.
And
But
As the World Turns, I loved as I called it, As the World Twirls. And
Young
but
and the Restless.
Young and the Restless, I've watched since I was a little toddler.
You ditto.
Because my mom always watched it.
My
And
mom and my grandma watched
Bold
that.
and the Beautiful. I threatened to stop watching Bold and the Beautiful quite a few times because I don't know if they have new writers again or what. But like right now, they have one good storyline that I'm like, okay, this is keeping me from totally leaving because they're starting on their one of the things that they've just always go back to, when they have the two people who always fight over the same man and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch them anymore. But if I was gonna get back into any of them, it would be Young and the Restless. That's where I first saw Shamar Moore.
Oh, love Shamar Moore.
Love him. Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's where I first saw him too. There's quite a few people. Like I love Julianne Howe. No, not Howe. That's the dancer. Julianne Moore. She started on As the World Turns.
Oh,
She
I
was a
didn't know that.
teenager when I was watching it when I was real young. So I've watched her career from the beginning too.
Cool.
There's quite a few people who are stars now that started off on soaps. And but right now Young and the Restless is doing the same thing. They brought back a character and at first it was like okay, but now it's like done with it.
Okay, tell us what's going on right
I
now.
don't like what's going on, so I'm ready to tell them to go away. They brought back Diane from the dead.
Diane, okay. I don't know
Who
what.
was supposedly murdered. Diane is the mother to Kyle, who is Jack's son.
Okay, yeah. All right.
She was a major manipulator.
Yeah.
Okay, Donna, catch up with you hopefully after you're done
All right.
with your call.
And
but there's a guy who tried to get Victor's company by manipulating his daughter into marrying him and saying he was going to die. And they just killed off one of the best characters too. Sharon's husband, his name was Ray Rosales. And
no, it's been probably 10 years since I've watched it.
And they brought, how Sharon and Nicholas, how they raised Cassie, who was Sharon's daughter that she had put up for adoption.
Yes.
And then she died in a terrible accident.
Yes. And she came back or something.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I didn't know if you had seen it. They brought back.
Yeah.
It turned out that Sharon actually had twins. And
Yeah.
somebody had taken the other one a mean guy. Well,
Yeah.
they've made her, which now I'm not going to think of her name. Her and her partner just got married. Her and her girlfriend just got married. It's a really cool. The storyline when it first started off, they're the parents at first they were like weren't sure, and then they supported them, and it's been a really good storyline.
Okay.
Except for the fact that her brother Noah actually had fallen for her first, was dating her first.
Yeah. I do think I know that.
Um, but no, it's just doing its normal.
Normal soap opera thing.
Yeah, Adam's like a better person, but he's still dealing with his bad side, and
Yeah.
I can literally not watch it for weeks and watch an episode and be like, okay, it's like I hadn't stopped watching it.
Yep. That's
Jack
how it
and
is.
Phyllis got back together finally, and this is the part that's making me upset right now. Like Phyllis had been back with Nicholas, and they were
Okay.
gonna, and were they married? I think yeah, they were. Or
Yeah.
were they gonna get married? I can't remember now. But they broke up like over nothing, just over the fact that he was having problems with his family. And she was like stuck to where if she agreed with him, he would be like, well, you never liked my family anyway. And if she didn't say anything, then she wasn't being supportive. So he was in the middle of a him situation. And
Yep.
then he decided we need to break up because we're just not compatible. And then he got upset because she didn't fight for it. Well, she tried fighting for it, but he had totally pushed her away.
Yep.
I'm like, these writers don't know what they're doing. They just honestly don't know what they're doing. So they took
Yep.
that relationship out. They had Jack tell her that he still loved her. She was the woman of his dreams. He still loved her. And they were playing the cat and mouse of, no, we just want to be friends. And they were fantastic friends. And then they bring Diane back, and all of a sudden they're making Phyllis turn back into her old self. And it really has me upset because they were doing really well with her character and with the progression of the show, I thought, and now they're taking it backwards. And
Yeah.
I I haven't seen this week's. Normally I'll like tape and then watch 2 or 3 days in a row, and tape it on the
DVR.
yeah, which I won't have once I get rid of the cable. So I'm taking advantage of it while I have it. But they are in previews. It showed that Jack told her that he wanted her out of his life now forever because Diane had been taunting her so much that she would be able to get back with Jack. Phyllis jumped on their relationship quicker than she had meant to, and they got back together. And then Diane was egging her on, knowing that Jack was standing right there to say, yes, I made us go farther in our relationship just to shove it in your face. So then of course Jack was hurt, and now he's telling her he wants nothing to do with her. And it's like, but that's not really what happened. She's truly in love with you as you are with her. But Diane's manipulating again, even though everybody thinks that she's changed. So
Well, it's a soap opera.
it's a soap
So
opera. And that's what I tell my husband, because he will sit here and he'll get into it and he'll be like, I can't believe this, or this person is terrible. And I just look at him and I'm like, it's the writers. And
yeah.
that's what I have to tell myself anytime that the show starts to make me mad. I'm like, it's just the writers, and they're terrible right now. I mean, they used to make it where it was believable, and things just, they got away from where the soap opera seemed like it was supernatural because they'd bring everybody back from the dead. Now they're doing it again. It's like, okay, go back to being more like real life, People like people like me anyway, like to see real life better.
I guess that's why we like YouTube.
Yeah. But I think it's also why I really like that family channel that we were talking about the other day too and stuff. So
Oh, yes. Yes.
I do get into,
GAC family.
yeah. And I've been finding myself more and more getting into channels like that where I can just watch really nice, they're not all nice shows. They deal with hard subjects, but
Yeah.
they're real. I'd rather
Yep.
be real than fake.
Yep.
So, and that's what my, yeah. And that's what my YouTube channel is. It's me. It's who I am. It's real. Completely 100% me.
So you decided after watching all these other YouTubers that you were just home all day and wanted someone to talk to, and
Yeah, I was bored. What I had tried to do at first was set up a chat where people could come and crochet and chat. Is what I tried to do before I set up my channel.
okay.
Because I belong to a group. I belong to Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and I had asked her once I had joined her specific club where you can learn different stitches and different things up and beyond what she shows to anybody for free.
Yeah.
And I enjoy her club. I've taken her color changing course and different things. I had asked her if I could start doing that on her channel, and she said, "Well, or in the one where we pay, to be in." And she said, "Well, actually, I already have something set up for the end of once a month at the end of the month. It used to be the last Thursday of the month. Now I think it's like Wednesday, where they would do that." And she said, "But people stopped coming." And I was like, "Well, would you care if I tried to get it going again?" And she said, "Well, I'll just leave the room open. You guys can come in anytime you want." But I knew that every time we tried to go in, it would bing her. So it was,
Mm-hmm.
I know like the couple times that you opened mine, like I was asleep and it
Mm-hmm.
was really loud bing, so I didn't want to
I'm
keep
sorry.
no, that's okay. I make sure I close it now. If I leave it open, it's because I want you guys to go ahead and use it. But I realized that I might be bugging her, and I don't want to do that to anybody, you know. But I would post, would anybody like to? And nobody would ever respond. But I think by my doing that, people started coming back to hers. So I would go to hers like once a month, but it wasn't enough for me. Lizzie's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, but I need to run. You all take care and God bless. God bless to you, Lizzie. It was nice
You
meeting you.
too. Bye.
So I was bored. I'm home. I'm disabled. I'm bored. I just decided I thought about starting a channel after watching, people. And so I just decided I might as well. And at first, my friend Nadine and we were going to start it together, but we couldn't figure out at the time. She was in California. She's moved since then. And I'm in Indiana. She's still over on the Pacific Coast, the West Coast. But we couldn't figure out how to do it, like to share a channel without one of us having to put it like with our Gmail, and then we would have to share passwords and all of that. So, and we really didn't want to do that. So we decided to do separate channels, and then we would get together and do a collab. Well, she still hasn't had a chance to start her channel, and I was trying to wait, and then finally I just said, I can't wait any longer. I'm just going to start. So I did. And that was a little over a year ago now. I just had my first YouTube anniversary. So
Cool. That's
and I think
awesome.
I'm doing okay. I've got like 250 people right now. So
That's cool.
slowly growing. and it's just me being me. So, and that's just like my name. I didn't, everybody's like, you need to put crochet in it or something like that. And I was like, but I don't want to. Um, my massage name was AJ, was Angel's Touch Massage Therapy. So I've always been in putting my personal touch on things. And that was a play on touch, as in touch because of massage therapy, and plus my personal touch as my personal way that I gave a massage. Some people took it to mean totally the wrong thing that it meant. And they were like, well, that's not a good name. That makes it sound kind of sexual. And I'm like, well, you're totally thinking with the wrong side of your brain. So I'm like, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with that. And I collected angels, which is where the angels came from. So when I first started on AOL all those years ago, I was AJ Angel. So
Okay.
somebody had that name already. So it was like AJ Angel with 3 L's, LLL. So I kept, Angel in my name because I collected angels. I knew I was going to decorate my office with angels, so it just made sense to me.
Oh.
So then when I was thinking of a name for my crochet business, which I actually have had my domain name longer than I've been on YouTube, because I knew I was going to at some point in time make a blog.
Oh, you're
Because
frozen. Oh, she's frozen. Okay.
no, I will make massage like I can't remember how it's on my card right now. I do custom crochet. If somebody tells me what they want, I find a pattern, I will make it to how they want it. Not that I make my own patterns or anything yet, but I will change things up to how they want it. And then I also do tech editing. So I need to have a web page for that. So I have my domain name. And when I was trying to think of what I wanted, I was also selling my direct sales at the time. So I just thought AJ's Personal Touch would be good because I put my personal touch on everything. So,
Yeah, I like that. And then I like the way you end your videos.
okay.
Could you share that with everyone? The way you end it?
Um, I end all of, well, most of them. I don't always on my lives, but I end my videos by reminding people that they matter. And actually, that came from my friend that I talked about earlier from Spicy Cat Jams.
Okay.
She would end hers by reminding people that they mattered. So when I told her I was going to do my channel, I said, I love your message so much. And it helped me personally when I would hear her say it all the time, and asked her if she would mind if I used it on my channel. And she was like, no, go ahead and use it. The more people who know they matter, the better. So, I actually got that from her, but then I also, I remind people that they're beautiful, because I have had self-esteem issues most of my life. I have always been told that I was fat and ugly, even at a time in my life where I was not really overweight. Um, so I've always felt that I wasn't beautiful. And I would tell my daughter at times when I would be really frustrated that I was not beautiful. I was like, oh, I'm sorry you have an ugly mom or something. And she's like, Mom, you're beautiful. She's like, don't listen to everybody else. You're beautiful. And it took me a long time. And it took my daughter and my husband to help me get past that and realize that, yes, I am beautiful and everybody is beautiful in their own way. So I remind people that they matter, and I remind them that even if they think that they don't, that I'm there for them. They can send me an email or anything if they just need somebody, and that they're beautiful and they're gorgeous. And then I always say, handsome too, because I want to make sure everybody is included in whatever adjective they like the best. So
I
that's where
like
that comes
that.
from. Well, thank you.
I
Just
just
like
usually, what?
Just like I love how you start yours, you know, welcome to my creative. I can't remember exactly how you say it
Creative
right now.
corner of creation.
Creative corner of creation. Yeah.
And I got that from, I cannot remember who it is, but when they come into a live, they, like in the chat, they're from Kentucky. So they always say, from my little corner of Kentucky, hello
Mm-hmm.
from my corner of Kentucky or something.
Uh-huh.
And so I just kind of made it my own and did my hello from my creative corner of creation.
Which is perfect for what we do, because most of us are
Yeah.
creative in more than one way.
Yes.
So I didn't realize how long we've been on here.
I know. So I was getting ready to get off. So I would like to close with prayer, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Lord, for letting AJ come on my channel. I'm glad we had this chat and that we had people in the chat. Just thanks for letting it be such a blessing to me. And I hope people will like it if they watch the replay and respond positively to it. I hope people will go to her channel and watch her and subscribe to her. Please let that happen. And please bless everyone that watches this and everyone that has watched it. And bless Anjonette and her health and everything in her life. And just thanks for letting us do this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, with that, I will say happy reading, happy crafting, and God bless.
Night,
And
everybody.
good night.